Hello my friends and welcome back. Happy hump day to you. Half of this week has been conquered. We will conquer the other half. Please my friends also go and conquer this book. This book is made for you. I've been working on it for 1.5 years and all of these 8 missions in Ukraine are funded by you, made possible by you, and the drones and the cars we gave to different units, KUR, SBU, Alpha Group by the way. They're done thanks to you. Go and get it. Links in the description below. My friends, today we will begin with Iran and Israel because so much is happening and I want to tell you everything, every photo, every video. I want to keep it as short as possible so we get right into it. The International Atomic Agency says that it has detected direct bomb impact on the underground nuclear enrichment halls at Iran's Natanz nuclear facility. Natanz facility, one of the biggest Iranian uranium enrichment facility. Iranian uranium enrichment facility. That's a mouthful for a foreigner, honestly. But yeah, Israel struck it with a bunker buster bomb or many bombs since it's underground. This is the main site that they are doing the enrichment. This is the main site responsible for their nuclear program, and it's now, I cannot say if destroyed, but definitely hit and damaged, and it will be hit again. Continuing on the hits on the Iranian nuclear program, here is a hit on Hossein University in northeastern Tehran. Now it's so strange for me to report a hit on universities. See, I value education overall. Education is key to a nation's survival and people's happiness and the healthy choices they make politically also. But in this instance, this university faces sanctions and is involved in nuclear weapons research and other military programs. See, I report on it and I am strongly against Iranian nuclear programs. So yeah, here you go. Israeli hit their main university which educates Iranian nuclear scientists. As you can see, I'm running over this like it's a sport or sprint because we have so much info to cover, so please forgive me for this. This explosion occurred inside the site a few seconds after the airstrike. Something large was hit, so a few seconds that might tell us that the explosion happened in the site and then some ammunition detonated a few seconds later because it was like a secondary explosion, giving us a hint that one of Iranian underground facilities that hosts these missiles and drones exploded. We have seen plenty of these videos where they have these hallways filled with their ballistic missiles and drones. Well, if you hit with a bunker buster bomb one of these hallways, it will make sense that after a few seconds a massive boom happens, exactly like in this video. So we can deduct from that one of these underground hallways was just hit by Israel. Again, wonderful job they're doing with their air force. And now, my friends, Mossad has released videos of them picking off Iranian anti-aircraft defense missile batteries and missile launchers which launch ballistic missiles to Israel. They picked them off with kamikaze drones at the first hours of the beginning of this attack, 12th of June. And we have videos of that. By the way, these Mossad agents were operating inside Iran, which is absolutely mind-blowing if you think about it. They assembled these drones in Iran. They have these guys on the ground in Iran controlling these kamikaze drones, taking out Iranian AD. Look at that. There's plenty of videos like that, and they took not tens but close to 100 in the first 24 hours. There's so many videos, and I mean, whatever Iranian propaganda or Russian propaganda says, these videos, like Ukrainian Operation Spiderweb, they speak for themselves. You watch these videos, there's no mistake that Mossad and Israeli air defense operate without any issues over Iran and in Iran. This is massive. Here's another kind of video of Israeli drones hunting one by one for Iranian air defense batteries. This one, for example, was in traffic, so they waited until it stopped and was a little bit away from other vehicles, and then they did what they do best by sending them to the other side. These videos speak for themselves. I've seen many AI generated videos which says Iran is going to destroy Israel, but then I see real videos from Mossad and Israel of everything Iranian connected to military being bombarded back to the Stone Age. I mean, you can make your own conclusions who is on top in this fight. My friends, I partnered up with MyHeritage over a year ago to find out how many unknown relatives do I have, and my God, the discoveries I made on MyHeritage webpage. I mean, I saw my relatives going back to the 1700s. That's the time Napoleon lived. So I can find out what my great-great-great-great-grandparents were doing at the time Napoleon was conquering half of Europe. And you can also. Every time I go to MyHeritage page, I want to go to the discoveries page because it always surprises me. And by going down this list, I can review all these matches, all these people. Some of them are my blood relatives and I've never heard their names. There's so much for me to discover about my own heritage here. And when I go to my family tree, I mean, looking at my family tree, there's a lot more to go. Right now, we are going back on my grandfather's side to the end of the 1700s. But I know with the discoveries I just found, I can go to the 1600s. There's plenty of information here, plenty of records, plenty of grave sites that were found, and now they have notified me that I can connect these relatives up to my family tree. I'm gonna do it right now. Now there's way too much stuff here to show you this fast, but I want to show you one last thing. Photos, colorized photos. I want to colorize an old photo of my grandfather, and this is really strange stuff to see that kind of photo being colorized. I've only seen these old photos of in black and white, and now suddenly look at that. By the way, that was my grandfather at the time he was in the parliament of Estonia. Look at that beast. Damn, it looks weird. But it gets weirder, my friends, because we can also animate this photo. Oh my God. This is awesome and creepy at the same time. I will leave some of the fun for you also. If you go to the DNA tab, you can find out what is your ethnicity. I'm not talking about a few generations. I'm talking about millennia, because that's what DNA results give you. Click the link in the description below or scan the QR code on the screen to get a 14-day free trial. Enjoy the discoveries and get your mind blown. Thank you, MyHeritage, for sponsoring today's video. My friends, it gets even better. Not that it has not been worse for Iran already, but turns out not only kamikaze drone teams of Mossad were present on the ground in Iran, but also JTAC teams of Mossad who were directing airstrikes directly with pinpoint accuracy to exactly these specific Iranian anti-air defense batteries or military facilities. I mean, how are Israeli airstrikes so accurate? Well, because they have guys on the ground shining lasers at the targets with impunity. This is crazy. This is a Call of Duty mission. I played missions like that in Call of Duty when I was like 13. Shining lasers on enemy targets and then boom, it comes from above. This is exactly that. Mossad agents using this equipment. In this video, by the way, we see Iranian militias finding this equipment and they're being quite panicky about it. Like, what the hell is this? Who was using this? It's quite funny even. Look, this is Mossad's JTAC equipment left behind. The shine laser. I'm sorry for my lack of wording here, but I'm gonna say it how I understand it. To shine lasers for Israeli Air Force to strike with pinpoint accuracy on Iranian air defense batteries and nuclear facilities. So Mossad agents were on the ground right at this spot, pinpointing the targets, which is mind-blowing for me. Deep in enemy territory. You couldn't be deeper in enemy territory. This is as deep as you can go because the guys were in Tehran, also the capital of Iran. Talking about Mossad being absolute savage of an intelligence agency, Iranian sources report that former president of Iran, Mahmoud Ahmadinejad, has been unalived on the streets of Tehran. See, that's the president. I think he was Iranian president from like 2010s, around that, a little bit before to a little bit after, a few years. Well, this guy is one of the biggest pro-presidents of Iran for pro-nuclear program. He's a very strong Iranian nationalist and a very, very anti-Israeli president. So he has been taken out now. He's sleeping with the fishes. Fishes, there's no fishes in the desert. Well, sleeping with the scorpions, whatever you want to say. Taken out on the streets, a capital of Iran, probably by Mossad agents, which again gives massive credits to Israeli intelligence capabilities. Right at the heart of the enemy, you take out their former president. Wow, wow, my friends. Here, my friends, we can see one of the boosters. I will leave it up to you to say which booster exactly it is, but it is looted by Iranian civilians, I think from Tehran. They put it on top of the car. It's a booster from a missile, I think, Iranian ballistic missile, or Israeli Air Force. Maybe it's an external fuel tank. Please correct me on this. I'm not sure what it is. Point is, it's from either side, and Iranian civilians are definitely going to use it for what? I think they're going to make it into a hot tub or something. In this, area in Iran, people are not the richest. So if this kind of stuff starts falling from the skies, from Israeli Air Force, or from Iranian ballistic missiles, you will take it, put it on top of your car with your pals, and you will turn it into a nice hot tub. That's what I would do. That's what they're gonna do, I think. What else are you gonna do with that? Some kind of a hot tub, right? Are we thinking alike? Yeah, it's a hot tub material. Situation in Iran right now is very unstable. The security forces do not control the cities, do not control the narrative, do not control the media even, because Israel has been bombarding the media, broadcasting services and media houses. Well, in this instance, for example, you can hear Iranian civilians screaming to each other, and you don't know what they're screaming until somebody translates it. This means death to Khamenei, and Israel is not our enemy, the Islamic Republic is, and they are screaming it to each other. So there is massive discontent among Iranian people. Have you seen these old photos of Iran before 1979, Islamist revolution? They were, if you would look at these photos from the beaches or universities, I mean, that's mini skirts and bikinis and guys having fun, having beer. It's full Western society almost. You couldn't tell a difference if it was a specific photo. So they want that back, I'm pretty certain. What's gonna need to happen in Iran? For example, I bring you this guy. This is an Iranian crown prince right now living in the United States in exile ever since 1979. And he is making an address to all Iranians, to Iranian people, to rise up and change the regime, take the fate into their own hands. Because right now it's the time to do it. The regime is weak. Their military is weak. It's pure chaos thanks to Israel and the United States. If the people want to, now is the time to seize that opportunity, and this is what he invites Iranian people to do. Change the regime. Now, my friends, in Pentagon, the pizza index jumped again. I mean, you always know something's up. The US is preparing for something serious. For the second time in the last 10 days, the pizza index is working again. The US military ordered massive pizzas twice overnight. It happened yesterday. And then we get this report that 17 American military tankers, we're talking aerial refueling tankers, flying over Europe towards the Middle East. And a day before, we got reports that from United States, similar amount of tankers were crossing the Atlantic into EU, into Europe, and now they're flying into the Middle East. So US is gathering massive numbers of their military capabilities. We're talking aerial refuelers, we're talking strike groups, aircraft carriers. I've even seen a photo of B-2 bombers flying with fighter jets as security on the sides, flying towards Middle East. This is the biggest United States military movements well, I have not seen it this big, honestly. Something big's about to happen. People are saying that US will join this assault on Iran with Israel. Time will show us what decision Trump will make, but right now, I think they want to bomb that country to Stone Age, and I am all for it. Iran is one of the main supporters of Russia's invasion of Ukraine and Russia's imperial ambitions, so I say bombard them to 4000 BC. Let's take a look at what happens to, we saw what happened to one of the boosters in Tehran. Well, this is Syria. One of Israel's external fuel tanks from, I think, F-35s or F-16s, external fuel tanks, they lengthen the range of the plane, of the jets, and then they drop it if it's all used up. Well, some will remain inside the jet fuel. And these Syrians, they're having a happy day because they're now pumping it out. For them, it's pump it up, free jet fuel. Hey, me and my buddies, we're not allowed to drink alcohol because Allah, but we can drink jet fuel. Hey, it's a nice party when Israelis drop you free jet fuel to drink. Well, for them, it's a good day, as you can see. Pumping it out. All right, my friends, I'm joking. I know they're not going to drink it. They're going to sell it or use it or burn it. But let's say they're going to drink it because it's fun. I'm having fun. You have to have fun. And by the way, there was also a massive cyber attack. We've talked about Israeli air defense, massive success. We talked about Mossad agents on the ground, mind-blowing intelligence operations. But now we're talking about Israeli cyber attacks against Iran, inside Iran, against the banking sector, which is one of the main things if you want to aggravate the population because they want their money. If they cannot access it anymore, as we can see from this video, ATMs are not working. The bank cards are not working. The system is down right now. If you cannot get your money and you have to flee Tehran, the capital, without any money, because there's no ATMs in the village where you're going, you're going to be pissed. You're going to be pissed at the regime. Iranian authorities have banned all security personnel from using devices connected to public networks. There are also major problems with accessing bank service in Iran. Both ATMs and card readers aren't working at many locations. Lots of bank offices are closed. People fear they have lost their life savings. Yeah, so this is one of the fastest way to aggravate people in the millions, not like only people who think differently from the regime or who want to oppose the regime, but everybody. You take away their personal money, you piss them off, and that's the goal. By the way, on January 25, so this year, January, Russia and Iran signed a 20-year security agreement, which also states in one of the points that if either country is attacked, other country will immediately come to its aid. Well, check it out. This is Iran's Islamist regime ambassador to Russia. This is what he says. And they are not pleased with Russia's reaction, or should I say, apathy. Russia has done nothing. In these critical days, when my country, Iran, is under aggressive attacks by the Zionist regime with American support of Western governments and the inaction of international organizations, the great nation of Iran will not forget which country stood by us and which remained indifferent. Well, my friends, if you didn't know, Russia doesn't give a rat's about any other friends. See, they have these security deals with everybody, with Syria, with Iran, with North Korea, with China, with Kazakhstan, whatever. Syria fell. The regime fell. Assad fell without Russia doing anything. Nothing, no reaction, although Putin himself has given a signature promising to come to their aid if necessary. Same now with Iran. Their number one partner in crime, and they're betraying them. I'm not saying it's an apathy and indifference. It's a pure betrayal if you look at it from Iranian side. Because their number one friend is supposed to be Russia. And there's nothing coming there. No aid, nothing. Russia's image has taken massive damage thanks to this, thanks to Iran bombing one of Russia's main partners with impunity and no reactions from Russia. I just want to use this thread to show you a little bit how the dominoes fall. See, Russia supported Syria. Russia is funding a lot of Iran's monetary capabilities for them to make missiles and drones and everything. And also Iran is sending drone motors and drone parts to Russia to build Shaheds. The point is the dominoes are about to fall. Syria is one of the it all started with Ukraine, of course, 2014, but then full-scale invasion, 2022. Then Syria, the dominoes fell. Now Iran, it's all, if you could say, Russian proxies, but the Russian and Iranian proxies, right? If Iran falls, you know who else will fall? A few different terrorist military organizations in Iraq, in Syria, in Yemen, the Houthis. All of these are funded and weaponized and militarized by Iran. If they fall, these other militant groups, they will fall also. Iran is the brains, Iran is the money, Iran is the weapons, Iran is the ideology. If they fall, it's a domino effect in the Middle East. In the next few years, a lot of these very aggressive terrorist organizations will fall. All right, my friends, with 20 minutes, I've explained it as fast as I can to you. I promise to keep you up in the loop with this conflict and deliver you this information as fast and efficiently as possible. But now we go to the Russo-Ukrainian war. And first, we go to the Liman front, because Ukrainians are reporting their unusually high surrender numbers from the Russians. So many prisoners, there's nowhere to put them. Russians surrendering in mass near Liman. Now, I gotta say, disclaimer, this is no collapse. This is just a peak in the surrender numbers, but it's not to say that Russian offensive operations there are going to collapse. Just, it shows you that a big group of Russians were left by their own without food or water, then they usually surrender. At the Liman front, what's unfolding looks more like a military collapse than the actions of the second largest army in the world. Russian soldiers are surrendering by the dozens, according to Ukrainian forces. This wave of voluntary surrenders has never been seen throughout the war. Yes, so usually when they surrender is not when they are being hit with artillery or drones, but after a few days they have been left completely without food and water, then they start to surrender. So Russians have barrier troops everywhere, and they force Russian izgoi meat assaults in between Ukrainian units and the barrier troops. There's this no man's land. They force them there every day. And if these guys here, without food or water, if they don't want to assault, they cannot go back. They will be shot or beaten. They got to be here for a few days, 3-4 days without any food. They talk here how they're eating like leaves and branches and drinking rain if they can. After that, they start to surrender. So this is what usually happens. There's a very strong rhythm to the surrenders. If Russians push the barrier troops, push a bigger unit or a bigger group into no man's land and they don't attack, they will not be let back also. Then they're going to starve and be very thirsty, and in the end they will surrender. As I spoke before in the Middle East about the domino effect of Iran's proxies falling, well, in Russia they have also many proxies. We're talking about Georgia, which is forming into one of their proxies, and we're of course talking about Transnistria, the Russian-occupied separatist region of Moldova. Russian-occupied Transnistria is on the brink of economic collapse. Since Ukraine cut off gas supplies to the region, the alternative routes are more expensive, logistically difficult, and have limited capacity. Industrial production, mainly metallurgy, has dropped by 43%, and trade has fallen by 31%. As for electricity, exports have ceased entirely, and the enclave has completely depleted its coal reserves. As I say again, you can see it happening on the screen as Liman front Russian troops are surrendering after a few days of hunger, while Ukrainians turned off the gas at the beginning of 25, and 4 or 5 months later, Transnistria is facing economic collapse. You have to starve them out. That's the only way. Otherwise, they want to keep up their ideology and their proxy state of Russians. It's about time that Moldovan or Ukrainian troops go into Transnistria and eliminate that Russian influence over that region. It's about time that happens. By the way, Sergei Shoigu met with Kim Jong-un, and they promised to each other, you know, the endless friendship as they do always, yada, 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 the same friendship that Russia promised to Syria, same one they promised to Iran, the same empty words. But Kim Jong-un pledged to send another 6,000 slave laborers, We're talking 1,000 sappers to demine, Kursk territory, and 5,000, soldiers / builders who were supposed to build out defensive lines in Kursk. That's an issue, because North Korea can actually do that, and they are doing that. And human life is worth nothing in North Korea, nothing in Russia. And they have a lot of humans, unfortunately, which they can weaponize. So that's happening. 6,000 more North Koreans will be sent to Kursk to demine the area and to build out Russian defenses in there. Very bad. It's very, very bad. But my friends, I want to end this video with positive news, and I gotta give credit where credit is due. And of course, I'm talking about Canadians. Canada is the second biggest group of people watching this channel. First is the United States, then Canada. So I know many of you are from Canada. This is water to your mill, or whatever you say in English. Canada is preparing a military assistance package for Ukraine valued at $2 billion Canadian dollars. The announcement came during the meeting between Canadian Prime Minister Mark Carney and Volodymyr Zelensky on G7 summit. The assistance package is set to include, among other things, drones, helicopters, and ammunition. And now we get to the interesting part, which I always love so much because it's so ironic. In addition to direct assistance, Canada will offer Ukraine a $2 billion loan. So bear in mind, this is a loan. This means Canada will get interest. They will get profit from this money. I want everybody to know that massive amounts of money which will be given to Ukraine are as loans. So the countries who give them will get profit from them. And these loans are backed by frozen Russian assets. That means if Ukraine defaults on the loan, frozen Russian assets will be used to pay it back. So Canada will make money with this, which is good. I'm all for it. Notably, the interest on this loan will be covered using revenues generated from frozen Russian assets. So this is Putin's money generating interest in the West, which will be used to give loans to Ukraine, to back these loans, to be the security guarantee of these loans. Putin's money's interest, which is a massive slap to Putin's face, and I love it so much. It's so ironic. My friends, thank you for watching, and thank you for being here time and time again. Please go and read the book I wrote for you, 8 Missions in Ukraine, links in the description below. And if you think somebody who you have not been able to persuade what's really going on in Ukraine, if you think somebody would need their eyes opened, this book will open their eyes. Go and get it for somebody else also. Until my next video, my friends, Slava Ukraini, and bye-bye. Click the link in the description below or scan the QR code on the screen to get a 14-day free trial. Enjoy the discoveries and get your mind blown. Thank you, MyHeritage, for sponsoring today's video.